right, guys. So welcome to E60 Exhale Yoga. I was mentioning earlier, and I think you guys have been here. You guys have been here before, but for those of you who haven't, so this will be a deep stretch, lots of breath work. As you move through the postures, if at any time you start to catch your breath or hold your breath, I encourage you to come out of the posture, because if your breath has stopped already, there's Adriana, then you've already come out of the posture, right? You've already come out of the pose once you stopped breathing. We want to keep the breath flowing throughout your practice, and think about connecting with your diaphragm. So your diaphragm is a muscle, not an organ, that supports the expansion of the lungs, the rib cage. Hi, Adriana. Do you want to grab strap and 2 blocks too? So think about connecting with your diaphragm muscle as you breathe. So you'll feel, if you are connecting with it, you'll feel your whole rib cage expand. Normally we're always shallow breathing, right? We're just moving through the world on autopilot, and we're just taking short breaths, and that's really detrimental to our nervous system. So as you move through this practice, as often as you can, and I'll remind you throughout, is to connect with your diaphragm when you inhale, expanding the rib cage all around and contracting. And we'll do some of that in the opening of our practice as well, so you'll get to start feeling it. Like I said before, as I guide you through the postures, if you want to come out at any time, this is your practice, your time on the mat, so do what feels best to you. You could lay here in Shavasana for the whole time if you'd like, totally up to you. Any questions or anything before we start? All right, so one of my favorite opening postures is supported fish. So this helps undo our tech neck and our tech back and improve our posture, which I'm sure we all could benefit from, right? So place one block on medium height at the top of your mat, and then the second block parallel, but in between the shoulder blades, right here, the thoracic spine. So you can choose the low height here or medium. I recommend you might want to start with the low and then adjust as you'd like. Then lay on your back, knees are bent, holding that block in place as you slowly lower down so that you find it positioned between your shoulder blades, and then rest the back of your head on the second block. And then once you're settled, open up your arms far out to the sides, palms facing up. And the more you can bring your hands toward the top of your mat, the more you'll start to feel your shoulders open. So maybe you first come out into a wide T, so arms are extended out to the sides. Then maybe as your shoulders and your back start to open up, you inch your hands up just a bit towards the top of your mat after several breaths. And with your legs, you can have your knees bent like I have now, with your feet on the outside edges of your mat. You can extend your legs all the way out if that feels better to you, or you can bring the soles of your feet together and allow your knees to open wide, letting gravity assist in opening up the hip joints. And you can change throughout your opening posture. If you decide you want to switch, you can do that. So with that, everybody settled. And then consider adjusting your block for your head to, if it's too low and you feel your front of your neck is strained, then move it up to the medium height, and I'll come around and check on you guys too. We're gonna be here for a few breaths as we start to calm the nervous system, slowing everything down. I'm gonna reset our playlist here as well. Okay. So as you settle into this posture, I invite you to begin practicing connecting with your breath. So inhaling through the nose perhaps for a count of 4 or 5. And see if you can connect your breath with your diaphragm, expanding the rib cage, expanding the abdomen. Long, slow inhale. And as you exhale, think about lengthening on the exhale to 5 or 6. And at any time, guys, if you start to feel any discomfort on the blocks, please come off of them. This can be pretty intense at first. Nice, long, slow inhale and lengthening on the exhale. By controlling our breath in this manner, we can slow down the heart rate, lower the blood pressure, calm the nervous system, slowing everything down. And as you continue your breath, observe any tightness or tension you may be holding in your body, the stress from the day or the week. And just think about seeing if you can soften any area of the body that may be tight or tense. Perhaps raising and lowering the eyebrows, maybe open and close the jaw, releasing any tightness in the face. And then begin scanning the rest of your body from the crown of the head to the toes. Just softening any tightness or tension, letting it go. As you continue your breath, I invite you to practice a moment of gratitude, beginning with yourself, thanking yourself for arriving at your mat today, taking the time to tend to your wellness, mind and body. And then think of 3 other things for which you are grateful today. Simply naming them in your mind. Sending your gratitude, your grateful energy to those 3 things. Begin to deepen your breath now. And we'll take a few cleansing breaths. So a nice deep inhale through the nose and then let it out through the mouth. Big, big, deep inhale and let it all go. One more nice deep inhale, really expanding the chest. Taking in all the breath you can and then release it. If your eyes are closed, maybe gently blink and open your eyes and look for your strap. Should be all close within reach. Yep. Yes, good. Lay the strap across the top of your hips and hold the strap hip distance apart. Extend the arms so the elbows are straight. And as you inhale, begin to reach up and overhead, seeing if you can just barely tap your knuckles on the mat behind you. And maybe you need to widen your grip as you warm up the shoulder joints. But if you find this to be too easy, then bring your hands a little closer together, but just barely tapping the knuckles on the mat behind you. Back and forth. Inhale as you extend up, overhead and behind, and exhale as you come forward. Keeping the arms straight. Inhaling, extend overhead. Exhale, come back to center. And on the next rotation, settling your arms behind you overhead, begin to pull with the right arm away from you so that it brings the left arm to the midline. So now you're stretching the outside of the left shoulder, keeping the arms straight though. Yeah, and then, yeah, so that'll help extend this side right here. So come that way. And maybe bring the hands a little closer together if you're comfortable doing that. And then come back to center, and now with the left hand, pull the left hand away from you, bringing the right hand to the midline. You guys doing okay and still breathing? Okay, good. Other side. One more time, pulling with the right arm, back to center, and the left. So you're really expanding through those side rib cage. And back to center. And then exhale, bring the arms all the way forward, setting the strap aside. Bring your forearms to your sides, palms on the mat, and slowly press yourself up off the blocks. How was that, guys? Everybody have a happier upper back now? Hopefully that wasn't too intense, but I really like to start with that. How are you, Audrey? I didn't get to say hi when you came in. Let me just, the speaker is a little questionable, so sorry about the sound, guys. All right, beginning in Sukhasana, easy seated pose. Legs are crossed. Begin to focus on your posture. So you're drawing the navel in, lifting the chest, spreading the collarbones, lifting through the crown of the head like there's a string on the top of your head pulling you up to the sky, lengthening the spine, maybe drawing the ears back slightly to align with the shoulders, lengthening the spine, taking a few breaths. And then we're gonna do big, big circles, leading with the heart. So reaching over to one side, drawing the chest forward. Exhale as you press back, rounding the spine. Bringing the chest forward. Exhale as you come back, inhale as you come forward. Big exaggerated circles. Let's reverse directions. And come back to center. Let's switch the cross of the legs. Feels weird, right? It's so odd. New muscle memory. Extend the arms out in front, palms face each other, thumbs to the sky. Inhale as you sweep the arms up, reach, reach, reach. Align the biceps with the ears and then hinge forward over the shins until you reach your limit, and then lower the hands to the mat, walking the hands away from you out in front, letting the head hang. Take a few breaths. Walk the hands over to the right, maybe bringing your chest in the direction of your thigh, bringing the left hand over the right. Again, letting the head hang. Walk the hands out in front and over to the left, placing the right hand over the left. Keep the hips grounded on the mat. Walk the hands back out to center. One more time, walking the hands away from you. Let the head hang. And then slowly begin to rise up. Let's bend the knees. Feet are nice and wide. Sitting nice and tall. So feet are probably one extra hip distance wider. Nice. And then we'll begin to lower the knees from one side to the other, 90-90. So as you look down at your knees, you might see a little bit of a 90-degree angle as you drop both knees over to one side. So this is creating an external hip rotation, internal hip rotation in the other joint, creating mobility in the hips from sitting all day. I don't know about you, but I lost count how many hours. I was like, I think it's been 4 hours I haven't moved. That's not good. So creating some hip mobility. And then let's settle with both knees over to the right. Coming up on your hip. See if you can align your chest with your thigh. And then walk your hands out in front as you lower the chest down, extending the arms all the way out. And then walk the hands back, coming all the way up, switching the knees over to the other side. Coming up on your hip, again aligning the chest with your thigh as you walk the hands forward, resting the abdomen or the chest on your thigh. Inhale as you slowly come back up. And back to center. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. And now you have an option, and you may want to progress from one to the other, but we can begin with the feet together. Knees are bent. You can hold your shins, ankles, or feet here. Or if you want a little more intensity, you can place the block where your ankles go, and that elevates your ankles so it creates more of an outer hip rotation. Just an option to try. So maybe you try it and it's not for you, and then just set the block aside. Whatever you choose, make sure that your spine, your posture is lifted, gaze is lifted, shoulders drawing back. We're always practicing improving our posture, and then leading with the heart, bringing the chest forward, maybe pressing the elbows against the inner thighs, but try not to round the back. Yes, nice adjustments. If you start to hunch, just come back and begin again, leading forward. Inhale, come back up. One more time. Bringing the chest forward, gaze is lifted. Really opening up the hips here. And slowly release. Nice, guys. How was that with the block? Is it intense, right? Yeah, it's challenging. It's just other options for you to try, right? Let's grab our strap. What do I do with it? Grab our strap, legs out in front. From here, you can wrap the strap around the soles of the feet. Now, that proud, dignified posture that we practiced in the beginning, we want to keep our spines long and spacious. So we're lifting, shoulders are drawing back and down away from the ears, and we're using the straps to bring our chest forward. Again, if you start to round, just come back up. So you should feel this all the way in the back of your legs, from the Achilles all the way up to the base of the spine. So as you come forward, Once you reach your limit, just hold there, and then you can let the head hang if you'd like. Or if you're walking your hands forward, you can also rest your hands on the outside of your shins, ankles, or feet, and then let the head hang. Taking a few breaths, and inhale. As you come up, releasing the strap, bring the sole of the foot, the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Sweep the right hand behind, placing your fingers behind your hip. Inhale as you sweep the left arm up, aligning the bicep with the ear, and then again, leading with the heart, coming forward, and then placing the hand on the outside of the shin, ankle, or foot. Very nice, guys. And then once you reach your edge, you can let the head come down. This is called Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose, or head in proximity of knee pose, I like to say. Taking a few breaths. Inhale, come up. Extend the leg and draw the sole of the right foot to the inner thigh. Sweep the left hand behind, extend the right arm, sweeping the arm up, aligning the bicep with the ear, and bringing the chest forward. Hand on the outside of shin, ankle, or foot, and then lowering the chest and the head. Slowly rise back up, extend both legs. Let's shake it out. Nice job, guys. And then crossing the feet or placing the feet to one side, we're gonna roll over to all fours, tabletop. So beginning in our tabletop, think about stacking your knees and hips and stacking the shoulders and wrists. And then just begin to draw circles around with your shoulders. So you're exercising your wrists now. So you're pressing forward to the side. You're coming back, just warming up the wrists a bit. Reverse direction. And then come back to center. Turn your hands out to the sides, so your fingers are pointing to the long edges of the mat. And then continue turning your fingers in so that your fingers are pointing towards your knees. This creates an opening of the shoulders again. So we're gonna stretch the forearms. So see if you can extend through the arms as you lean back, drawing the hips back, pressing through the forearms, drawing them back. Then you may start to feel your palms lift, stretching the fingers, come forward, extending. The fingers are really, really wide, and come forward. Turn your fingers away from you, and then invert your palms so the backs of your hands are on the mat. Spread your fingers really, really wide, and then slowly lean back. We're stretching the front of the wrists. And come back to neutral with the palms on the mat. Cow-cat vinyasa, so neutral spine. As you inhale, expanding the diaphragm, tilt the pelvis up. Chest is lifted, gaze is lifted. Maybe pressing the hips out from one side to the other. And then as you exhale into cat, round the spine, spread the shoulder blades, tilt your pelvis under, gazing at your navel. Again, explore movements that feel good to you, maybe pressing out one side and the other, maybe drawing big circles with the navel. Exhaling as you round the spine. Inhale as you drop the navel, tilt the pelvis. Reverse directions. Let's settle in our neutral tabletop. Extend the right leg all the way back, pressing the heel away from you, stretching the Achilles and the calf. And then extend the left arm all the way out. Think about aligning that bicep with the ear. Neck is in a neutral position, gazing down at the mat or forward if that feels good to you. And then lift the leg. Leading with the heel, point the toes down toward the mat. You can also keep your leg there if you'd like. And then exhale, bend the elbow, bend the knee. See if you can touch your elbow and knee. Squeeze round the spine. And then inhale, extend all the way out. Extending through the leg. Think about aligning the arm with the ear. Exhale, draw in. Squeeze, 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 rounding the spine. And inhale, extend all the way out, pressing the heel away from you. One more time, drawing inward, bending the elbow, bending the knee. We're doing 3 on this side and then 3 on the other. Yeah. And back to neutral. Take a cow-cat vinyasa if you'd like, in between before we do the other side. Take a little breather. And come back to neutral. Extending the left leg back, curling the toes on the mat. Press your heel away from you, stretching the Achilles and the calf. Extend the right arm, aligning the bicep with the ear. And then lift the left leg. One nice long line from the heel to the fingertips. Exhale, bend the elbow, bend the knee, squeeze and round the spine. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. Squeeze in the abdomen. Inhale, extend one more time. Hold for a few breaths. And draw in before we come back to neutral. All right, child's pose. Spread the knees really, really wide. Press the hips back. If you'd like to stretch the triceps, you can rest your elbows on the blocks. Bring the palms of your hands together, lowering the chest and bringing the palms behind the head. Maybe inching the elbows forward just a bit. And another option in child's pose for a side stretch is extending the arms out in front and walking both hands over to one side. It's another option to choose. And inhale, slowly come back to center. Sorry, if you haven't switched sides yet with your child's pose, walk your hands over to the other side. And come back to center, and then slowly lift the head. Come back to all fours. Curl the back toes under. Lift the knees, press the hips back, and then raise the hips into your downward facing dog. So down dog is really a spinal extension, not necessarily a leg extension. So your legs, your knees can be bent, but your shoulders want to be drawing back towards your thighs. You're lengthening the spine. And while you're here, you can walk it out one leg at a time. And if your wrists start to annoy you, you can also do it on your elbows. So if your knees are bent, then you can lift here and press back is another option if you like. When you are ready, come high to your tippy toes, walk, step, or jump towards your hands. And hang out at the top of your mat, letting the head hang, releasing all that tension in the neck, the spine from sitting. Maybe holding the elbows as you gently sway from side to side. Maybe lowering the hands to the outside of the right foot. Again, extending through the side body, walking the hands over to the left side, outside of the left foot, and back to neutral. One more time, letting the head hang. Maybe nod yes, no, gently. And then slowly rise up, one vertebrae at a time, all the way to the top. Bringing the hands together at the heart, taking a few breaths. Just observing how your energy might have changed from when you walked in to class and how you feel now. Maybe the breath is flowing a little more, starting to feel a little warmer. And lower the hands to your sides. Okay, beginning in Tadasana Mountain Pose, you have an option to bring the toes together or feet hip distance apart. The way you measure that is the heel of your right foot or left foot to the inside of the opposite foot, and then pivot your foot out. That's approximately hip distance. So beginning with our foundational pose for all standing poses, mountain pose, lift and spread your toes. When you lift your toes, you may feel the arches of your feet activate, which you don't usually notice, right? So if you want to exercise the arches of the feet, lift and lower the toes. Activate your quads. Draw your pelvic bone up, tailbone down, drawing the navel in, spreading the collarbones, lowering the shoulders, lifting through the crown of the head, arms by the side, fingers reaching toward the ground. Tadasana Mountain Pose. Inhale, sweep the arms out, up and overhead. Palms together, gazing at the thumbs. Exhale, swan dive the arms out to the sides, bringing the hands to the mat. Inhale as you halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Exhale, lower down, and with the right foot, take a big step back into your high lunge. From here, you can lower your right knee, top a foot to the mat, pressing into that front right hip flexor, sweeping the arms up, gazing up at the sky, palms together, lower to the heart, twist to the left and lower your elbow to the outside of your left thigh. Press the palms together, left elbow pointing toward the sky, gaze follows. Few breaths here. And slowly come back to center. This time, inhale, sweeping the arms up, lowering back down, curl the back toes under, lift the right knee, step back into your plank pose, shoulders over wrists, pressing through the heels, and lowering to chaturanga, either lowering the knees, chest, chin, or slow push-up position. Elbows are by the side ribs, press up into your cobra or upward facing dog. And lower back down, curl the back toes under, press back into downward dog. Again, we're trying to lengthen the spine here so your knees can be bent really well. Looking good, guys. Beautiful. Maybe walk it out one heel at a time. Walking the dog. Looking great. Wow, you can bend your knees if you like. And with the right heel, sweep the right leg up behind you, three-legged dog. Gaze forward, bring the shoulders forward, sweep the right foot forward in between the hands. High lunge. From here, you can lower your knee, top of foot to the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gazing up at the sky, palms together. Lower palms to the heart. Turn to the right, left elbow to right thigh. Do I have that right? Right, yeah. Pressing the palms against each other, elevating that elbow to the sky, and gaze follows. Very nice, guys. Few breaths. Come back to center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Place the hands on the outside of the right foot. Curl the back toes under. Step back into your plank. Taking a few breaths. And then chaturanga, either push-up position or knees, chest, chin. Draw those elbows into the side ribs before you come up to your cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, lower the chest, curl back toes. Press up into your downward facing dog. Walking it out if you'd like, one leg at a time. And when you are ready, come high to your tippy toes, walk, step, or jump your feet towards the top of the mat. Hang here for a few breaths. Enjoying this forward fold. Again, maybe swaying gently from side to side. Palms to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Exhale, lower down. And inhale, come all the way up, sweeping the arms up overhead, palms together, gazing at the thumbs. And coming back to center, Tadasana, mountain pose. And lowering the arms by the side. So you notice we led with the right leg throughout that sequence, right? So we're gonna do the same thing now on the left. So we're leading with the left. So we stepped back with the right. We kicked up with our three-legged dog on the right. So this time, mountain pose, beginning with the left. So lifting those toes, activating the arches of the feet. You might want to come a little forward since we're stepping back. Tightening the quad muscle. Lift the pelvic bone, drop the tailbone. Lift and spread the collarbones, lift through the crown of the head. Arms by the sides, reaching toward the mat. And inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, gazing at the thumbs. Exhale, swan dive, coming forward, hinging at the hips, letting the head hang. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Big step with the left foot. All the way back, pressing the heel away. Lowering the knee, top of foot. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky, gazing at the thumbs, palms together, palms at the heart, twist to the right. Lower left elbow to top of right thigh. See if you can get your forearms stacked on top of each other as you press your palms against each other, elevating your right elbow toward the sky. Beautiful, guys. Taking a few breaths. Nice alignment. Gazing up over the shoulder. And come back to center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Lower the hands to the outside of the front foot. Curl back toes under. Lift the knee, step back into your plank. Taking a few breaths and lowering down, chaturanga. Knees, chest, chin. And then cobra or upward facing dog. Lowering the chest, curl back toes under on the mat. Press up into your down dog. Walking it out. One heel at a time. And with the left leg, leading with the left heel, extend the left leg up, behind, and gaze forward between the hands. Bring the shoulders forward, sweeping that left foot forward in between your hands for your high lunge. And pressing down, you can lower the knee, top of foot. Inhale, sweep the arms up, palms together, lowering the palms to the heart, twist to the left, lower the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. See if you can elevate that left elbow to the sky just a bit as you gaze up and over the left shoulder. Pressing the hip forward. Beautiful, guys. You all look like you've done this before. And slowly come back to center. Sweep the arms up one more time, and then lower to the outside of the foot. Curl back toes, lift the knee, step back into your plank. Stacking shoulders over wrists. Pull the belly in, letting that core support you, and then lower down, knees, chest, chin. Elbows into the side ribs. Press up for cobra or upward facing dog. Lower back down, curl back toes under, press up into your down dog. This is the last one, guys. Are you so pumped? Stretch it out, walk it out. Press the shoulders back, knees can be bent generously. And slowly walk, step, or jump to the top of your mat one more time in forward fold. Just letting the head hang. One more time, maybe walking hands over to the outside of the right foot, outside of the left, back to center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower, and inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead, palms together, and palms to the heart. And slowly lower the hands to the sides. Before we come to our mat, we're gonna do Malasana Yogi Squat. If you have any limitations in your ankles, knees, or hips, like I do from all my broken ankles, grab a block, place it behind your heels. Feet are a little wider than hip distance and pointed out toward the top corners of your mat. Feet are not parallel. So feet are pointed out to the sides, and then you can slowly lower, bending the knees, lowering down. Take a look for that block to place your sit bones on the block. Bringing palms together at the heart, elbows are on the inside of the knees or thighs. And you may explore what feels good to you, maybe feet closer together, wider. And as you settle into this posture, if you feel like you want to come off the block, you can lean forward, kick it out, settle in. But explore what feels best to you. Pressing the elbows against the inside of the thighs. Chest is lifted, gaze is lifted. Nice. And then if you'd like to go into a little bit of a twist, lower your left hand in front of the left foot. Press the shoulder against the inside of the left knee as you inhale, extending the right arm up and overhead, and maybe lowering it behind the back, reaching for the left hip crease. Inhale, sweep the arm back up. Lower the right hand in front of the right foot. Inhale, extend. And maybe lowering the hand behind, reaching for that hip crease. Gazing up at the sky. And back to center once more. Opening the hips. And then we'll slowly lower down. Palms can come out in front, or you can just sink your hips back and come back on your seat. 2 options to try. Nice, guys. All right, let's do What time is it? I can't really tell. About 15 minutes. So we can do leg extensions before an inversion and then Shavasana. So grab your strap, lay back. Ooh. Okay, set the strap aside for a second. Let's draw the knees to the chest before we transition, just massaging the low back. Maybe happy baby if you'd like. Just transitioning. And coming back to center. Now with your strap, wrap the strap around the soles of the feet. Extend the legs all the way out. Arms are straight, holding the strap as close to your feet as you're comfortable. And just think about extending through the backs of the legs. So we're not drawing the legs close to us or anything. We just want to extend. So draw the toes toward the shins, press through the backs of the calves, knees are pressing away from you, backs of the thighs, all active. And then with the strap, slowly begin to bring your thighs closer to your chest until you start to feel your edge. That sensation between effort and ease. Keep the backs of the legs fully extended. If your knees start to bend, release the strap. And see if you can keep your sacrum, your hips, back of your hips on your mat. When you're ready, release your left foot from the stirrup and extend your left leg out on your mat all the way out. Flex the feet, drawing the toes back toward the shins to activate the backs of the leg, pressing the left leg into the mat. Hold both straps with your right hand. Extend the left arm all the way out to the side. Think about pointing your toes toward the upper right corner of the mat. So you're creating a little bit of a rotation in the hip joint. Slowly lower the leg out to the side. Keeping your hips grounded on the mat. And think about bringing your toes towards the top corner of your mat. Keeping the left leg active. Pressing through the back of the left leg. And don't forget to breathe. Come back up to center. Grab both straps with the left hand. Keeping that left leg grounded. Keeping the left leg grounded, yep. So we're just pulling over to the other side. Now here's the trick. We're just moving our leg. If your hip starts to come off the mat, then you're moving into a twist. So we just want to extend the leg out. With the left hand, right hand extends out. And this is just stretching the IT band on the outside of the right leg. Keeping the hip grounded. Think about drawing the toes towards the top corner of your mat. And come back to center, release the strap, release your leg all the way out. Extending the arms overhead. And observe for a moment if you feel your right leg just a little bit longer than the left. Do you feel that sensation at all? Anyone? No? Yeah? Okay, cool. All right, guys, left leg. Draw the left knee into the chest, wrap the strap around the sole of the foot, and simply extending the right leg all the way out on the mat, pressing the back of the leg into the mat, flexing the foot. See if you can point your toes toward the sky. Walk your hands up the strap towards the top of the strap, close to your foot. Grab both straps with the left hand. And we're opening up the leg to the left. Think about drawing your toes closer toward the top of the mat. If your hand is close enough where you want to release the strap and grab your big toe with your first 2 fingers and thumb, you can do that too. You look like you're right there because your elbow's bent. So I bet you could reach your toe. No? Okay. You look like you're so close. And come back up to center, grab both straps with the right hand. And again, drawing the toes toward the top of your mat as you slowly lower the leg down, keeping your hip grounded. You may only move a few inches. The outer IT bands are always very, very tight and often responsible for causing back pain, knee joints to be out of alignment. So stretching the IT band is very beneficial. Drawing the toes toward the shins. You may start to feel it in your outside of your ankle when you do that. And come back to center, release the strap, release your leg, extend the arms overhead, extend through the toes, fingers and toes reaching away from each other. Big, deep inhale, expanding the chest, the rib cage. Exhale, draw the knees into the chest, squeezing tightly. Doing great, guys. Maybe gentle rocking, massaging the low back. And then we have time for our inversion just before Shavasana. So if you'd like, lower down onto your mat. Oh, sorry, I needed to lower down. So lifting the hips, grab one block, knees are bent, lift the hips and place the sacrum, that bone just above your tailbone, not the lumbar spine, on the block. Draw the knees to the chest, extend the legs all the way up for a supported shoulder stand. And while you're here, if you'd like, point your toes toward the top corners of your mat. You can come out wide into a V if you'd like. You can explore half split, so you're extending one leg all the way out while the other is elevated and alternating. So that's an option for you. If you do not have any kind of neck injury or neck surgery, then you can practice plow or shoulder stand. And the way you do that is drawing the knees and hips up to the chest, extending the legs overhead, and then using your hands to support your back, lifting your spine off the mat. So you're just resting shoulders and back of the head and backs of the arms. And then from here, you can extend the legs one at a time. So it's just the tops of the shoulders and the back of the head resting on the mat. You can bring your feet wide and plow if you'd like. You can bend your knees and bring your knees by your ears. Lots of things for you to try. Be here for another minute or so before we move to Shavasana. Okay, guys, when you are ready, slowly lower the soles of the feet to the mat, lift the hips, remove the block. And if there's anything else you'd like to do before Shavasana, whether it's another happy baby or a gentle twist, you can do that now before we settle in to our final pose of the practice. And if you are ready for Shavasana and you'd like to support your low back while you're lying flat, you can place 2 blocks, one under each calf, and that will help elevate your legs a bit while you're lying flat so that your low back can soften. Just an option to try. If it doesn't feel good to you, you can just lay flat. Tuck the shoulder blades just slightly. Extend the arms to the side, palms up, or you can place your hands on your abdomen. Maybe one on the abdomen, one on the heart. Your choice. And we'll be here for a few minutes. So Shavasana, corpse pose, just requires stillness. Stillness of the mind and body. Nothing for you to do, no controlled breath. Just rest. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Maybe gently roll your head from side to side, massaging the back of the head. Gently wiggle your fingers, toes, wrists, and ankles. And perhaps on the next deep breath, take a full body stretch. Deep inhale, arms overhead. And as you exhale, draw the knees to the chest. Squeezing tightly once more. And roll over to one side. And when you feel ready, come up to a seated posture. Bringing the hands together at the heart, bowing the head to honor yourself and each other. I'm so grateful to each of you for joining me. It was my honor to practice with you. May you be safe, may you be happy, May you be healthy. May you live a life of ease. Namaste. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you have a lovely evening, lovely weekend, and hope to see you again soon. Enjoy. Yeah.